there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Birth Month. We're getting down there, I'm sure. I think I have 4 left over here in the stack, so this is the fifth one. We're talking about Zolar. Yes, finally. I know everyone's waiting for me to talk about this movie, so you're all sitting there going, "What the hell is Zolar?" Yeah, probably. I'm known for some obscure stuff. This is as obscure as you can get. It was a TV movie that aired on Kids WB one time. That's it. And on Kids WB one time, I recorded it. I had it on a VHS and I watched it constantly. This is the first time in at least less than 20 years, 15 years maybe, that I ever revisited this, because 2004 is a little late to have VHS, but I had it. Actually, I was using the VCR as late as 2011 before it crapped out on me and I couldn't get a decent one, so I kept crapping out. So, Zolar tells the story of a group of skating teenagers who suck. So they seek out a new teacher, and he has an alien son named Zolar. And so he joins the team, and things happen where aliens come to Earth to take him down and capture him and get his Zorus. I'm saying that right. Let me write that so I know. I don't know how to spell it. The Zorus, which is his power source, I guess. And they have to protect him. So it's... yeah. And they already mess up because they decide... when this movie starts, I always forget that this movie starts in Minion Res. Because right away we're in the middle of a chase down some snow mountains with 2 of our main characters, which we find out are named Dex and Kiko, played by Jesse Moss and Nikki Klein, respectively. Jesse Moss, you may know from stuff like Final Destination 3. He was the boyfriend that died at the beginning. He was in Spectacular, the Nickelodeon TV movie. He's been in a lot of things, primarily based in Canada, but he's been in quite a bit. If you saw him, you go, "Hey, I know that guy." So, he's recognizable. Kiko is played by Nikki Klein, who... for all I could find, her most notable thing is being married to Allison Mack, which apparently was a sham so she could live in the United States. I don't know. And they're snowboarding down, being chased by this weird flying squirrel dude. And I'm watching this. I have it on my phone. I'm in the van and I'm watching this. I'm like, because you start this, and if it wasn't for the credits popping up here and there, you would think this isn't the beginning of the movie. And that's because I don't think it was supposed to be the beginning of the movie. I think they came up with this after the fact and said, "Hey, let's do a cool thing. We'll start with an action sequence," and they start with this, and then transition by using Dex to narrate what happened. Just to me, it just... because they show the whole damn sequence again to the middle, towards the end of the film, later in the film. So, the movie's only an hour and 25 minutes, it's not that long, but yeah, it's really weird. We also see the other characters, so we meet Zolar, played by Jordan Hoffart, the blue alien, or Hoffart, a blue alien thing with a red braid, interesting design, and he says, "I got my blue on and I did it." I'm like, that's a catchphrase. There's a lot of lingo in this. Very 2000s, but yeah. So I got an itch that's bugging me. Excuse me. There we go. I love this thing. Jesus. So, then we get the standard. It just lingers on the shot of Dex, and he's like, "Well, we didn't used to be this cool." you actually used to suck. And they go back 1 month ago. Yeah, it was only a month ago they sucked. And we meet the rest of the group. So we have Hanson, played by Neil Dennis, who I know as the son of Teal'c from Stargate SG-1, but also you may know him from the trilogy episode of Goosebumps. He's the little brother Todd. And he's wearing a very noticeable afro wig here. My God, is it so much a wig? And then, of course, then we have, I forgot to write down the character of Brett, and I forgot to write down the actor's name. But Brett is also there, and he's a douche. And then we have Brittany Wilson, who I know as Myra from Romeo. Remember when Little Romeo had a TV show called Romeo? That's where I know her from. She plays the character Chelsea. She's the younger sister of Dex. And so they are training for this BFX tournament, because they can't use BMX, so BFX tournament, where apparently skateboarding and inline skating can be in the same competition. Now I'm not big into that, so I don't know, but I never heard of that. Aren't they usually separated? In fact, Brink taught me that inline skaters and skateboarders are enemies, right? I don't think that at all, right? Those guys over there, they told us that. Those guys said that. Yeah, man. You know, did they have some sort of rivalry? Here, they're able to, because Keiko, she's inline skating and the rest of them skateboard. Maybe the sister inline skates too, I don't know. Looks like they all skateboard except for her, I don't know. So, after they fail, well, they really suck, but they get all threes. Brett sucks the most because he, just flops and then the skateboard lands on him. They want to show they suck, and they do. So they meet Jason Ellis, who is a name that I know him by name, but if you had told me to pick him out of a lineup, which one of these is Jason Ellis? Because it's someone I know. I think he might have been on a Tony Hawk Pro Skater or something. I knew him by name. They said Jason Ellis. I said, I know that name. I know him. I just, I couldn't place him. You know what I mean? Is he Australian? Because he sounds a little bit. He basically tells them not to give up. And then he says that he knows a guy that can train them. Like Sylvester something or other. And this is where we're introduced to our guru. Our RJ from Power Rangers. It's literally RJ from Power Rangers. Power Rangers. Jungle Fury, but 4 years earlier. Yeah, it's literally, he's like, oh, I can teach you guys, but you gotta take a new member. My son, Zolar, and it's the blue dude that we already met. This would have been an interesting reveal if they hadn't already revealed him in the median red shot at the beginning of this. But they wanted a big reveal. And they're all, first of all, the response they have is not right. They all laugh at him. And then for some reason they think he's someone with a skin condition from, what was it, Kentucky or something? But Brett is like, nah, no way, man. I'm not skating with the blue dude. I'm out. And he leaves. For reasons we might find out later, I don't know, the ending to this sets up the sequel that is just confusing. A sequel or a TV series, because this has all of the doings of all the workings of a TV pilot that they weren't able to sell, so they just threw it on as a TV movie. And honestly, you could have just cut the film before the ending, just of sorts. I don't know. So the others agree to take on Zolar and train with Skip, is the guy's name. But Brett's like, no, I'm out of here, fuck it. And he's gone. For the rest of the movie, he is gone. And I'm like, doesn't Brett come back or something? No, he's just gone. They don't even try to convince him. He's just gone. Again, for reasons we'll talk about it. So, they begin training, which is basically goofing off, and this could say, hey, we have to be serious here. Talking like that. You know, we gotta train. And so, I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna do that, and yeah. So, they apparently train, and they go to their BFX competition when other alien shows up. And this is where we meet one of the bad guys, Prentice, who's an actor I've seen before, but I couldn't really place him in so much. Stuff that produced in Canada, he'd probably been in all of it. Well, yes, I saw he was on Smallville, probably on Supernatural, probably on Stargate SG-1, all those that show up in Canada, he's probably been in it. So, but he shows up in a powder blue tracksuit for some reason with these other, what are basically putties, but they're people with face paint. That's it. And this is where Zolar gets his blue one, I guess, and this is where the Zurus is released in it. Glass getting itchy again. And it knocks them out. But then this is very confusing. So they go, Prentice goes to blast the kids, and Zolar is also there, and he puts this forefill with his Zurus. But it just keeps focused on him. Even when he starts moving from side to side, the shot blast is focused on Zolar. Not the kids, who are now unprotected because Zolar keeps moving back and forth in front of them. Yeah, I don't know. And but they're able to sort of defeat them, and they leave, and this is where they find out that, surprise, Zolar is an alien from another planet. They don't know much about it, but they have this whole talk around a dumpster fire thing where they talk about it. No, he's an alien, he's from outer space, and all that, and we're gonna get some information on that momentarily. We're also introduced, I think, here to Jammer, who's the secondary villain of this. He's another villain with Prentice, and they're going. He was also sent by the main villain, Hideon, played by C. Thomas motherfucking Howell. That's right. I had seen C. Thomas Howell's name in this, and I went, oh, who's he playing? Is he going to be... When they said, oh, we'll take you to this special guy, I'm like, oh, it's him, right? And then they show Skip, and I'm like, no, that's not him. Then when they show the main villain, I'm like, that's C. Thomas Howell in makeup. Because I totally forgot about that. I'm like, okay. And he is barely in this. He shows up here and there. Man, I'm just itchy. I'm sorry. And he barely shows up in this movie. He's like always from like a screen or something. He's barely in this. You'll see him a couple times off of a screen where he's just in a room. But he barely does anything. He has a few lines and that's about it. What a waste of C. Thomas Howell. Seriously. Anyway, they go to meet up with Mike Metzger, who is apparently a BMX dirt bike guy. Him I never heard of. And by the way, between him and Jason Ellis is the better actor, but this dude, oh hey, come on in. And, are you an alien? Of course I'm an alien. Oh yeah, all sports stars are aliens. Including Jason Ellis? Oh yeah, you'd be amazed about him. You think I'm scary. He's a beast. It's like, this dude sucks. I was not surprised to find that he wasn't an actor, but another sports star guy. I didn't know who it was. You know. So this is where we get our dump, our information dump. basically Zolar is Superman. He's on a planet. It's about to be destroyed by Hideon. So they load up a bunch of Zurus, sent it with Zolar. He landed on Earth. He absorbed the Zurus, and now he's super powered. And his parents are dead. The planet's dead. Yeah. And the thing is, Zolar is now learning this for the first time. He didn't know this until now that he went to see him. Metzger also gives them some coordinates they have to go to later. But yeah, so they leave and they go back to wherever Skip parks the mobile home, and then Prentice and Jammer show up, and they don't kill Mike Metzger. They attack him, and then they say, "Well, we have a plan," and this is where we learn that they are shapeshifters, because out of nowhere, they they cut back to the skate park area, whatever, and where the mobile home is parked, and Zolar's all bummed because his family's gone, and then out of nowhere, his parents just show up, looking exactly like they do in the picture, and I'm like, they're like, Zolar, where are your parents? And he's like, Mom, Dad? And I'm like, no one's buying this, right? Somebody's gonna say something. Nobody says anything. They get all sad. Oh, he's gonna go. He's gonna leave. And I'm like, no one is calling this out. Hello? No one. No, because the writing in this is so stupid. They let him go off with these people. They just showed up, not half an hour after they found out about this, and tried to make excuses. Oh, maybe his Zurus did something, and then we were able to find him. Yeah, no. And it's after they leave that Dex calls this out. We had just found out about them, and they show up. What are the odds of that? And I'm like, even Hanson's like, when they took trillion to one or whatever. I'm like, why didn't you call this out when they were fucking here? Why wait till they've already taken off with him to say something? Right? And then, okay, now we need to do something. What are you going to do? Well, they need to follow the note that Metzger gave them to Area 52. I kid you not. So, the whole thing, it is a mine shaft with this 300-foot drop or whatever. And so Dex decides he's going to go on the snowboard and grind the rails all the way down. Which, by the way, in this shot, you can see the thing that is pushing him. He's basically laying on it, and you can see it. They did not key it out. You could see it. That's not the only thing we could see in later scenes, but you could see it. I'm just saying. And this is where they don't come down with him. He has a parachute for some reason. The Hanson doesn't even know how he figured out how to use it. But Hanson's supposed to be the tech guy. He finds all this stuff, including some goggles, and that's when they see the picture. So earlier, when they said goodbye, they took the picture of Zolar and his parents. And so they have these goggles, and they're looking, and then Chelsea freaks out, and because they realize, because the goggles can see through disguises. When people, shapeshifters, you see through shapeshifters' disguises. So he's able to see the picture is Prentice and Jammer and not his parents. Which, the way they should have ordered this was that they go from finding out the truth to Area 52 and then come back, and then maybe one of them's messing around with it and they see that it's not them, and then they have a whole battle thing where they have to escape or something, but they don't. So instead, now they decided we have to go save Zolar. Yeah, of course you do. And they have to get to some park because that's where they are, because they are able to track it, I guess. But Hanson leads Skip into a traffic jam, so the kids get out and decide to skate there. Or their stunt doubles do, because in this shot, it's obviously none of the kids. And you can tell it's none of the kids, because if you look at this, especially if you're watching on YouTube and you're on your phone, you can look at it. It is not them. Like, not at all. It's obviously their stunt doubles. Like, there's one point where who's supposed to be Chelsea is right in front of the screen, and it's the stunt double. They did not cut away anything. She, right in the center of the camera, you can tell that is not Brittany Wilson. Wow. They finally get to this place, and they get in, and basically, they get in there, they save Zolar. By the way, the whole thing is that, so, the whole plan here is that they want to steal his Zurus. So, the way to do it is you have to touch feet. Did Dan Schneider take over writing for one scene, or what? Why is it feet? Why not hands? And also, Jammer has bird feet, like, not big bird feet, actual, like, chicken feet. He does take the Zurus, which it doesn't matter because he doesn't take all of it, I guess. Because I guess Zolar can replenish his supply. But they rescue Zolar, and they also end up taking Prentice with, because he's sort of left behind. Because the kids do this thing where they have the girls, what was it called? I forgot what it was, but he's basically stuck skating on them and then falls down, and he's forced to go with them when the thing's going to explode because Jammer decides to explode the place. Right? So now the plan is that Jammer is going to use all the Zurus that he has to make sure that everyone else who knows about it dies, so he's going to destroy the Earth. Right. So now they have to stop him. And this is where we get to the whole snowboarding thing. And it cuts to reveal that the Prentice was there the whole time. Yeah, we literally get the whole scene from the beginning over again. And then we get the confrontation where they try to make Jammer think that Prentice is Hideon. Of course, he knows that it's not, and it's not fooled, and then he kills Prentice. And so then Zolar decides he's going to use all of his Zurus to blow everything up. And does that. And it seems as if Zolar has died. And they get there and he's like, hey, where's Zolar? And they're like, oh, he didn't make it. Oh, so sad. And then they see, because the whole movie is like, I want to write my name in the stars. So they see a blue Z in the sky. And then he's just there making popcorn with his fingers. And everything is all happy and hunky-dory, and then we get the twist. So, Jammer is talking to Hideon and blamed everything on Prentice, saying Prentice was the one trying to go out for himself, and Prentice was the one who stole the Zurus. Prentice was the one trying to blow up the Earth, and he has a plan to stop, to get to Zolar and finish what they started. And then he turns into Brett, and the movie ends. And I went, what? What am I supposed to get from this? Was he Brett the whole time? How long did he have to pretend to be a child? So, is there a real Brett? Was Jammer Brett the whole time? It would certainly make sense. Let me talk before you go, wait a minute. It would make sense, because look at this. So what happens is, it's explained by Mike Metzner that they were supposed to find Zolar. Apparently they were being watched, and they were supposed to meet up with Zolar, and he's supposed to join the team. It was all meant to be. So, if Mike Metzger and the good aliens knew about that, then the bad aliens probably knew that too. So, with that in mind, I'm not saying Brett was never a real person, but what if they kidnap Brett and have him in storage somewhere, and Jammer pretended to be Brett for a while to get close, and once they found him, he pretended he didn't want anything to do with it and left so he could enact his his plan. You know? I don't know. Now, yeah, this cliffhanger suggests they were trying for a sequel, or the more probable, being this is aired on Kids WB, a TV series. Because my thought process while watching the end of this was like, was this a pilot a TV pilot that didn't get greenlit and they just threw it in as a TV movie? And like I said at the beginning, then cut out the Brett thing. Just end with Zolar being alive and them being happy and go to credits. Because this signifies that there should have been some continuation, which there wasn't because this was not very well received. Or they never intended to do anything more with it to begin with. Like I said, maybe it was a TV pilot that wasn't greenlit, and I don't know. For me, I'll give it a middle of the road. It was interesting to go back and see this. Good. By the way, I forgot to mention Zolar. When they get ready to do the thing where he's gonna explode, he says the line, I'm gonna get my blue on all over that guy's face. That's a line in this kids movie for kids. Yeah. I mean, it certainly is of the time, you know. As I think I've mentioned before, I was somewhat of a skater. I had rollerblades, but I have webbed feet, and they're very wide, so blades weren't the best fit for me, you know. Board, I had a skateboard. I wasn't the best. No professional, certainly no Tony Hawk, right? But I was fine. Nothing big or anything. Yeah, it's middle of the road. It's interesting to go back. It was now a 20-year-old movie, going on 21. I think it'll be later on this year. I think it's not quite 21, so 20-year-old movie. Interesting to go back and watch, especially seeing some of these actors like Brittany Wilson and Jesse Moss. See Thomas Howell, who should have gotten a bigger role, right? You know what would have been something? To reveal that Hideon was Brett instead of Jammer. Instead of Jammer, it's Hideon. No, don't worry. I will do this myself, like I should to begin with. And then turns into Brett. I knew Brett came back at some point. I just didn't realize it was at the end like that. I have no idea where they were going to go with that. I don't know. I wish I did. I want a novelization from the guy who wrote this movie and was in charge of continuing this project. I want to know where he would have went with it. I want to know. I tried looking up stuff. Couldn't find any information. It doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I didn't go on IMDb, and that didn't give me much information either. So I don't know. But, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Zolar? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.